My name is Jackie Phillips. I work for the Gambling Awareness Program through the Canadian Mental Health Association in Saskatchewan. Statistics tell us that only about 1.2% of our population actually has a gambling problem, which means addiction. However, there's a larger group aside from them who are on the verge of addiction. They're still functioning in society, but their future's kind of hanging in the balance because of their gambling addiction. However, that 1.2% that we know are struggling with a gambling addiction actually provide almost 33% of the revenue from gambling in this province. And people with a gambling addiction are actually 2 times more likely to attempt suicide than somebody struggling with any other kind of addiction. People who are struggling with the addiction will have issues paying their rent. They're going to have issues making their mortgage. We've heard stories of people who have lost their farms. We've heard stories of people who have lost their families. And you're actually also less likely to ask for help with a gambling addiction than you are with any other addiction. If you're addicted to alcohol or if you're addicted to a substance and you're trying to quit, you can see the benefits of stopping right away. But if you're a gambler who's trying to quit, you could be $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 into debt. And the benefit of quitting means that you have to face the consequences of that financial crisis now. This is one of the many resources that the Gambling Awareness Program offers to people who see our presentations or come to our displays. And it's called the Cost of Play Calculator. So for example, right now, up here in the yellow is simulating a VLT or slot machine where it costs 25 cents a line. So I've got it on number of lines to bet at 10. So if you do the math, that means that every time you spin, you're spending $2.50. Now the average person will spin once every 6 seconds. So that means if you calculate, you're spending $135 an hour. Now if you do that and you go once an hour for a week, for an entire year, you will have spent more than $7,020. And the reason we offer this is we realize that a lot of people remember their wins, but they're not paying attention to what it cost to get that win. So then we start talking about wins disguised as losses. This is another resource we use during our presentations and displays, and it simulates 649. Now your odds of winning the lottery for 649 is 1 in 14 million. So this jar has 20,000 green beans in it. One of them has a red X. To make this simulate 649, I would need 700 of these jars. I'd have to dump them all into a great big tub. And for the price of a ticket, you would get 1 pick with your eyes closed. So the question becomes now, is it possible to find that red X? Well, it is, and you always hear about the person that wins. But is it likely you're going to find the red X? Probably not. So the lesson to take away, it's okay to buy lottery tickets, but it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to spend an entire paycheck on lottery tickets thinking you're going to win. If somebody is struggling with their gambling, if they have lost control of the amount of time they spend gambling, if they have lost track while gambling for how much time they've spent, if they've lost control of how much money that they're spending, if they begin chasing their losses trying to win them back, or even if they're concerned about somebody that they care about and they're gambling, there is a 1-800 number that they can call in Saskatchewan. It's 24 hours a day. It's totally free and totally confidential. It's 1-800-306-6789. And the people at the other end of the line are going to be sure to hook you up with the resources you need. And all support in Saskatchewan for gambling problems is free as well.